My advice, and I'm not a lawyer, is I'm just like, Trump should instruct all of his administrators to start firing people individually for various reasons, like that they can. That way you don't get a class action. If Trump, you know what, right now they're saying that there's going to be a lawsuit from USAID staff because this is a blanket bang. He said, you're all out Friday. So 12,000 people are going to join this massive lawsuit. And if that reverses, they all come back. But if they start going right now, I mean, maybe with USAID, you just attack the institution as quickly as you can. With other institutions, just have the higher ups start saying, you're fired because you were late. You're fired for that reason. And when they say you can't do that, they'll say, sue me. And then that's going to require 10,000 individual lawsuits, which is going to be nuts and impossible for these people to actually deal with.
Yeah.
Could be a smart move. I mean, forcing them all to come back to the office, I think, was one strategy because a lot of people got so cozy working at home and moved away and are working remote and not even close to where they need to be to continue to work and come into the office every day. So I think one thing I do think was a genius strategy on Trump's part is how he set up Doge. It wasn't a newly formed thing. He took something that Obama put in place to upgrade the computer systems for the government, and he just renamed it. I think it was called the United States Digital Service Agency is what it was. And so, and knowing that he would need congressional approval to set up Doge, he went in and just took this thing that Obama set up and said, oh, okay, we're going to change this name, and you're going to come in and basically update and make our digital systems more efficient, along with a lot of other things. But I think that was genius move because a lot of senators Democratic senators especially, coming out saying he can't do this. Doge has no authority. You need congressional approval. It's like they didn't even actually read the fine print for the executive order for Doge. He just renamed an organization that Obama started. So
but that's how you play the game.
Yeah, that is
how you play the game.
Genius.
And this is the thing is that Trump's team is seasoned. They've been in waiting. They know how to game the system. They've been on the inside, so they've shown up with guns instead of knives. You know, they've shown up with the right tools to make it happen.
And two individuals, I think, that work longer hours and faster and harder than anybody I've ever seen before are Trump and Elon. So you have these two forces that are literally working around the clock. I mean, somebody said the other day, when I go to sleep, Elon's tweeting. When I wake up, Elon's tweeting. And I don't know when he sleeps. It's true. It's the same about Trump, though.
Well,
he's
maybe Elon's more than one person.
Well, he's not Adrian, okay? Have we not established that yet?
Well, did you see when they were trucking in the sleep pods?
Oh, yeah. And they're saying that they're going to sue them for giving a gift to government officials because that company said they were going to give them for free. I'm like, good Lord, everything that is good or seemingly good that they're trying to help is going to come under attack no matter what.
What I really love is how all these Democrats and liberals are coming out and being like, it's a bunch of 20-year-olds that are working Doge.
I mean, what founded this country.
What is going on? And everyone's like, bro, y'all were calling for 16-year-olds to vote. You had Greta Thunberg at 16, 17 screaming to change governmental policy. What you got no room to stand here.
Everyone complaining is either falling down the steps, having a stroke, or needing a walker in order to make it up to Capitol Hill. So I think the fresh youth coming in is needed. A revolution was started by a bunch of 20-something-year-olds that wrote our Constitution in the first place. So
what happens to the rest of the world now? Obviously, without the strong backbone of USAID, World War III will begin, right?
Well, let's take a look at El Salvador. What happened when Bukele got into power? It took him about 2.5 years of his first 5-year term. And at that 2.5-year point, when the cartels finally retaliated back, that gave him the voting power that he needed in Congress to basically temporarily suspend the Constitution. Then he was able to arrest any gang members that had markings on their face that indicated how many people they've killed. And they went straight to prison. They didn't get a court date. They went right to prison. And then he also kicked USAID or cut off funding to USAID. Because what he said is, at one point, the money was going to the El Salvadorian government. Then when Bukele got control of his government, USAID said, you know what, you're being like a dictator. We're not going to give the money to your government anymore. We're going to tell you what NGOs it's going to go to. We're going to give it to the NGOs directly. And Bukele says, you know what, it's not our money. That money doesn't belong to El Salvador. It belongs to the American taxpayer. Just keep your money. We'll fund our own government. And in 2.5 years, he turned it from the deadliest country in Latin America to the safest country in the world. Tim, I tell you.
In the world?
In Latin America.
Yeah.
It went from having, I think it was 183 gang-related homicides in one weekend to almost not one. I think there was like a few gang-related homicides the entire year of 2024. I think there was only 130 murders in the year of 2024 in El Salvador. That's insane. From thousands. So
El Salvador's homicide rate as of 2025 is 0.91 per 100,000 people.
There you go.
A decline from 106.3 in 2015.
Wow.
Do you know what the U.S. homicide rate is?
No.
I believe it's 6.3 per 100,000,
Wow.
meaning that El Salvador is now substantially safer than the United States.
substantially, Tim, I tell you what, every single person you walk by is happy to meet you. They're optimistic. They're introducing themselves. You see 13-year-old girls and 14-year-old boys kicking a soccer ball, running down the street at 11 o'clock at night, just joking. It's joy. It's happiness.
You went down there?
I've been there for like the last 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
You liked it
amazing.
so much, you bought a
I wanna
place,
go.
right?
Yeah, I bought property down there.
I'll tell you my story. I was playing poker and at MGM National Harbor, and I was sitting at a table. The guy to my left was Salvadorian, and people were talking as they normally do, and the guy mentioned that he was from El Salvador, and then I was like, "Oh man, I hear it's going really well down there. Bukele's doing amazing." And he's like, "Yeah, my family's moving back," and I was like, "Your family's moving back to El Salvador?" And he was like, "We moved here because it was dangerous, but Bukele saved the country, so we're going home." I was like, wow. Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.